Now we are going to work on cookies, I mean PHP cookies using AngularJS applications. As we know, there are different ways to preserve state in PHP using query strings, cookies, and sessions. Query strings are used to store small amounts of data in the URL. Cookies are used to store larger amounts of data in the browser, and sessions are used to store even larger amounts of data in the server. When I enter my login credentials, I mean my password and email, and check the keep me logged in checkbox and hit the login button, if I am a valid user of this application, my state must be preserved using cookies, which are stored inside the browser for a specific period of time. Now we are going to see how it works in practice. I'm going to the code of the application. Here inside the app.js, first of all, I create a variable. I call it keep me in and set it to the value of the keep me in index of the form associative array. Here I give this data associative array another index and I call it remember underscore me, and I set it to the value of the keep me in variable. Now I come to the server.php. As you know, here I have called the authenticate function of the database class. It has two parameters here. Now I am going to pass it a third parameter, and this actual parameter is going to be the value of the remember underscore me index of the data array. I go to the database.php. Inside the database class here, I have this authenticate function. Now I give it a third parameter and I call it $remember underscore me. Inside the body of this if, I say if the value of this remember me is true, I mean if the checkbox is checked, I'm going to call the setCookie function of this class, and I give it the row as a parameter. I'm going to define this set underscore cookie function here. Public function set underscore cookie, and I give it a parameter which is an array here. First of all, I'm going to create an expiration timestamp for the cookies which are going to be created inside this function. I set this variable to time plus 1800, I mean just half an hour. Now I am going to create a cookie for the ID of this user. Here I use the ID of this data, then here I write the expiration date and I use this slash. And now copy and paste it here and change ID to email, also this ID index to email. These two statements are going to create two cookies for the ID and email of this user. Now I'm going to the browser. Here I open a project. I go to the settings here. I come to the advanced settings. I go to the content settings, all cookies and data, and here I see that there is one cookie. Now I go to this Angular app. Here I enter my login credentials, my email and password, and hit the login. Okay, now if I close this one and reopen it, I see that still there is only one cookie. Now I go back to the application and log out here. I enter my login credentials and This time I am going to check this keep me logged in checkbox and hit the login and go to the dashboard of this application. Now if I come here and see all cookies and site data, I see that there are 3 cookies. Previously there was just 1 cookie. Now there are 3 cookies. I see that the cookies for email and ID have been created as well. For example, I check the ID. I see that a cookie has been created for the ID, likewise for the email. Now I close it and close this tab. I close the browser, reopen it, and open a project again. I see that I have been redirected to the login page of this application. So now, what is the reason that I have not been redirected to the dashboard of the application while I had previously checked the keep me logged in checkbox of the login form?